Welcome to the Swiss Gold Global Independent Business Owner Network Marketing Training number 51 on this Wednesday, 10/22/14. And if you saw the other blip, hopefully you've jumped over and joined us here. And we're 5 minutes late because we had a Googleicious ordeal this morning. The Hangout, I don't think, wanted to work. We had to totally restart everything. So here we are. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Paul. Yeah, we got this thing figured out. You know what? Maybe we need to try starting 10 minutes earlier so when these problems happen, we can start right on time. But anyways, yeah, it's Wednesday, and I absolutely love Wednesdays because Tuesdays we take a break from doing these, and it's awesome to be back on here. And I have just a mountain of ideas that I would love to talk about today, and my brain's all over the place. So I'm going to let you kick us off, Paul, get this thing started, get us focused in, and I will throw my ideas in as needed.
Well, that mountain of ideas is exactly why we're starting late, and I don't get this thing going 10 minutes early because I too have a mountain of ideas, and they got to get out of here, and they got to get on to here. Because actually they have to get onto paper because you know what? I don't like to um, type in my ideas onto the computer because you really get a much better awareness and transfer of energy when you actually write your ideas down on pen and paper as opposed to typing them out onto the computer or even, you know, voice doing your voice messages into your computer, which is something that I have to, we have to do that sometimes, and I'm actually in the process of putting that together where I can do some voice messages on my phone and have those transferred into audio files on my computer so that I can have someone transcribe them onto paper so that we can use them. A process that is definitely needed, and it's a good way to a good easy way to get your ideas down on paper, but there really is something to be said about putting pen to paper because when you're writing with your pen, you're using like 10,000 different nerve endings and muscles and all kinds of different things in your hand when you're writing with a pen. So when you're typing, you're only using like 800. And obviously when you're voicing and someone else is doing all the work, you're using even less. So the act of transferring your thought through mechanical motion is something that really helps to set it in place. And I just wanted to throw that out there. That's why we end up running late sometimes, transferring ideas, throwing these hangouts together at the last second. And then of course, if Google decides to throw us a little glitch, we end up being late. So apologize. Welcome. We're all about network marketing with Swiss Gold Global here on this hangout, but we're much more than just that. Okay, we're really all about business, almost like the call where we get like our information from Jeff Fagan, the street smart business concepts that really make a huge difference in your ability to grow your business and achieve your ultimate goals of financial freedom and ultimately happiness in your life. Because we don't learn all this stuff. This stuff isn't this isn't the kind of things that get taught to us in traditional means and methods and systems and school and people and most people don't know this stuff, and it really really makes a huge difference in your ability to succeed in whatever you want to do in this world. So with that, I'm going to jump right into our content today, which is obviously a big part of it is being in warrior mode, because we are all driven by our conditioned mind, which is basically means everything that we know and believe because of everything that we've seen, heard, taught, watched, all those things throughout our life to the stage that we are now. We have a conditioned mind which believes certain things and really only has one objective for you, which is to survive. to keep you safe and comfortable and survive. That's it. So anytime you step out of your comfort zone and you look to do something new or something like that, your conditioned mind immediately jumps into hey, this is an unsafe, scary place outside of our comfort zone. I suggest you get back in there so we can survive. And so being in warrior mode basically means to battle with your conditioned mind. You're not battling against outside physical forces. You're battling against yourself, your own conditioned mind, to overcome those, easy ways of backing right back into your comfort zone and saying, oh, okay, well, hey, you're right, conditioned mind. I should stay here where it's safe and comfortable and not ever do anything to advance myself in this world so we can just survive, right? That's a huge battle that we got to overcome. And so, with warrior mode, I mean, your conditioned mind wants to. So if you want to try to become, more in this world, you got to step outside of your comfort zone. You got to be able to put on your warrior mode, battle against your conditioned mind to say, hey, listen, we got to get outside of this comfort zone so that we can grow and we can learn and grow. It's the only place we're going to learn and grow. There's no learning and growing inside this comfort zone. This is like the dying zone, okay? And so you got to step out of your comfort zone, get into your learning and growing zone so that you can advance yourself, from a level 1 person to a level 2 person to a level 3 person, 4 person, 5 person, etc. And it's all going to take, once you step from a 1 to a 2 person, you're not going to just go, oh, okay, I made it to level 2, now I'm in a new comfort zone, this is great, I'm happy. Which a lot of people do. They get to one little piece of, advancement in their life, and they get settled and happy with that, and they crawl back into their comfort zone and don't go any further. It's really a constant battle day by day to continue to grow and grow and grow. And with that, John, take it away.
I agree, Paul. Absolutely. And you know what? I understand that for a lot of people, it's very difficult to step out of their comfort zone. But it's imperative and it's easier to step out of it once you get into warrior mode, and that's all about mindset. I was looking at some interesting statistics this morning, and this kind of plays into mindset, and this might help people as a way to motivate themselves out of their comfort zone, do something different. Why are we on these calls? Why are we involved in network marketing? And that's because we want to achieve a level of financial freedom. And the old ways of doing that, what most people feel comfortable with and secure with, is having a job. And you know what? I started thinking, what good jobs are out there for the average Americans anymore? We're becoming a service-based economy, meaning fast food, retail, cashiers, low-paying jobs. These jobs don't have futures, but people have futures. And you've got to start thinking about your own. And, what's going to motivate you out of your comfort zone? Only 10% of the people, when they go to retire in the old way, is, okay, I'm going to work till I'm about 65, and then I'm going to retire from my job, and that means I don't have to get up and go to work anymore. But only 10 out of 100 people will be financially secure at the age of 65. And only 10 out of 100 people, I did say that, will be financially secure at 65.
Many?
What's that?
That many?
Yeah, well, it could be an older statistic. 10 out of 100 will be financially secure. But only 4 out of 10 will be financially comfortable. And these are 20-year-old statistics I was looking at. So that is true now because this was projected into people retiring at this moment in time.
Okay.
But think about what's happening, for me, 36. What is going to go on in the future generations that are retiring, because these jobs don't offer these benefits anymore. That's why I pointed out that jobs don't have futures, but people have futures regardless of the job they have. So you've got to ask yourself 2 questions, I feel like. What are you doing at this present time to earn more income? What are you doing to earn more income? How much money do you want to make? And number 2, How much are you planning to make upon retiring? And the reason why most people fail to ever achieve any level of financial freedom is because they don't focus their mind on these two questions. They stay in their comfort zone. You go, I bet you, if you went door to door and you began asking people these two questions, they wouldn't have an answer for you. It would be uncomfortable for them to even consider it. They're stuck in their comfort zone. They're stuck in their job, and they're making a living now, so therefore they don't think beyond the little box that they live in. You know, it takes a lot, and I understand it takes a lot to get out of your comfort zone and actually think about these two questions about how much you want to earn and where do you see yourself, you know, upon retiring. Now, for me personally, I'm not waiting till I'm 65 because this day and age, I think that's another one of these things that is old school. You know, that's an outdated, outmoded way of thinking. And, you know, we talk about on these calls that, you know, if you apply yourself to it, step out of your comfort zone and really focus, you could become financially free in 3 years or less. But unless you're focusing, I believe, on a specific dollar amount and kind of a specific time frame and how much you actually want to earn, you're not going to get there. You're not going to get out of your comfort zone. You need something to motivate you out of your comfort zone, and I think that starts with thinking. It starts with the idea. It starts with a tangible goal, and as Paul said earlier in the call, writing things down. I think that's important.
Cool.
I'll toss it back to you.
Yeah, cool. You know, I'd be very curious to seriously just walk the streets, and I'd be very curious to, you know, approach 100 people the age of, you know, 55 to what, 65, 75, or probably what, 65? Where's the age group in there in your statistic, John?
The average man or woman starting their career, they'll begin entering the workplace by 20. Statistically, most people don't really reach their peak. Like Henry Ford didn't start making cars until his mid-40s. According to Napoleon Hill, most men don't kind of reach their prime in their careers or begin earning massive amounts of wealth until their 40s. But I think this day and age, I think people really can start younger. I'd say it would be interesting to ask people between the age of, like, say 25 when they're starting a career to the age of 65 when men are retiring. So I'd say kind of that. I know that's a large group, but the old way of thinking, which most people still have, is that I'm going to start working at 25 and I'm going to retire at 65. So I would say asking people within that age group, because although things have changed, too many people haven't changed with it.
Well, what I was going for actually was the retirement group. What, you know, the people that fall into the 10%, the 10 out of 100 statistic. So that would be between like
Okay. Most people.
55 and 70.
Okay, yeah, go for that. Okay, yeah.
Okay. I would be very interested to go out into the streets and ask 100 or 200 or 1,000, whatever people today, you know, that are within that age group. Hey, are you retired, first of all? And if so, was it a forced retirement, or did you, you know, I mean, basically, have you lost your job and can't get another one, or did you retire by choice? And are you 100% safe, secure, and comfortable with your financial position that your retirement's going to last, you know, as long as you're going to last? I'd be very curious to find out how people feel about that within that age group today, because I'll tell you what, these people, and I'm there almost, but these people, you know, lived the old school dream, which is because that's what they were taught their whole lives. They saw, you know, their grandparents and their parents live that dream. Their parents actually got to live the dream very well, because during the time between, you know, like the 40s and the 2000s, these people actually, you know, they lived good lives. This was the industrial age. They lived good lives. They had good jobs. They were with big companies. There was pensions. There was retirements. There were, you know, gold watches at 55. There was all these things. and it was the norm, and that's what everybody has seen, and that's what everybody, that's what your parents taught you because that's what they did. That's how it happened for them. But after this last crash, this world is going through a transitional change, and that is no longer the norm. That's never going to happen again. There's going to be a few companies out there where there's a few large companies out there that you'll be able to, work, and you probably don't have to put in 40 years anymore, but you'll be able to work a period of time, and have some sort of retirement there for you, but you're still going to probably have to go out and get a secondary job to carry you on to build up enough retirement to retire at 65, because most companies today don't want old blood. They want young blood. They want new blood. They want fresh ideas. And you know what? Being hanging around with a company for, I mean, just look at professional sports. Think back 10, 15 years ago in professional sports. How many veterans were on a team? How many guys had been with one team for, since they were drafted onto this team, right? There was a lot more then. Today, these guys get drafted onto a team and they play 2, 3, 4 years. I mean, a maximum career is like 7 years, and boom, you're out the door. I don't care that you're still producing and that sort of thing, and you're still good. But we're in transition. We're getting younger. We need fresh blood. You're out of here. So these guys might be able to go to another team and play for somebody else at a high productive level for a period of time longer, but it's the same, compare the sports to the business world. It's the same thing. You come out of college, you did all your studies, you learned, you got your degrees, you go to a corporation and they love you and you're great, and your business career might last, like I said, 10, 20 years with them, but then all of a sudden you're a dinosaur and we need younger, fresher blood, and you're out of here. And you might be able to still go to another country with country. Yeah, get out of here. Go to another country. Go to another company. You might still be able to go to another company and bring something of value and still be able to service, somebody else in the marketplace. But that whole 40-year thing with one company and a pension. It's dead. It's gone. It's over. It's history. And if your plan is that, you're wrong. And look at what happened to the people that just recently fell into that trap, and here they got to 55, 65, retirement age, and wham, the rug got pulled out from under them. And all this retirement they thought they had got wiped out, and now they're, getting on Obamacare because they can't afford to go to the doctor. I'm done.
No, it's true. It's very true. Like I said, jobs don't have a future, but people have a future regardless of that job. So you've got to start thinking about what you want now and where you want to be. Focus on those things, because if you don't, I don't see how you could break free of the mold, so to speak, if you're not consciously aware and thinking and focusing on that. That's basically what I think, and
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
why.
I just want to say that, and to break free from that, the only thing that you have now. We're not saying jobs are horrible. Jobs serve a purpose. You got to get out there. You got to get a job. You got to start your life making some money. But you've got to have a plan. You can't be having a plan that this job is going to take you where you want to go. You need to have a plan that this job is your stepping stone. This job is going to take you to the next level of becoming a business owner. While you're at this job, you need to learn everything you can about, first of all, how to be a good employee, so that when you become a business owner, you know how to hire good employees. You need to learn everything you can about managerial skills, so that when you become a business owner, you can manage your people. And then your first objective with your job is to get out of your job and own your own job by starting a business. I mean, that's the objective here. We're not bashing having a job, but it's a necessary piece. But having that as your one and only goal for your life is going to lead you down the road to Nowheresville.
Yeah, and then just simply putting together that plan and thinking about those things, such as how much money you want to earn now and how much money you want to be worth when you quote-unquote retire, because to me, retirement doesn't exist. I'm never going to retire. I'm always going to want to be doing something, working towards a new goal, and that should be everybody's goal. I think people that are resonating with the message that me and Paul bring on these hangouts, I'm sure kind of have the same mentality, so to speak, about that. But shoot, I lost my train of thought. I apologize.
Sorry,
But,
I wasn't here to help you.
yeah, exactly. But just the fact that you're aware and thinking about that already puts you ahead of the average person. And I think those statistics will be true always. You know, 10 out of 100 people will always be, I think, be financially secure. That doesn't mean that they're comfortable. That doesn't mean that they're able to go on vacation and have a good job. For a lot of people that fall into that 10% of being financially secure, you know, they're collecting minimal Social Security. They're covered by Medicare and Obamacare. Maybe they have a very small pension or a small 401k. But I think moving into the future without passive income and the ability to continue to save and invest after, you know, quote unquote retirement, that number is probably going to diminish significantly.
Yeah, I disagree with you saying that that number is going to stay the same. I think if you separated out business owners from employees, people that work for somebody else, I bet you'd see that number for the employees shrink dramatically to more like 1 out of 100. And
I agree in that realm, and that's why you got to think beyond the job. You've got to think about your own future. You can't rely on the job to provide you a future because, quite frankly, it's not. Even though you feel safe and secure, there's nothing secure about it. Things change so quickly, as Paul was talking about what happened in 2008, and so many people are still completely oblivious to the change that has already happened and how drastically in the last 6 years things have done a complete 180. And you know, that's why we're presenting these hangouts. That's why we talk about Swiss Gold Global network marketing, because network marketing is just a vehicle with a low cost of entry that, you know, if you put a little time into it, set a few goals, focus on it, it can actually be something you do in conjunction or in addition to the job that you already have to replace it. And it's a vehicle for passive residual income, which is completely necessary and what you need to have in order to be financially free.
bingo.
So I'm going to leave it at that and toss it back to Paul because, I mean, we're coming up on the 8:30 hour here.
I know. Well, we started 5 minutes late, so we're only a couple minutes over here. But we might have to think about extending these things because this is just not enough time to get a message out. I just want to say that, you know, you mentioned earlier about seeing all of these new restaurants and everything popping up all over the place, right? And everybody was crying, you know, during the crash that, you know, hey, you know, the middle class is being wiped out and all this and everything else. This is the shift that's going on in this country right now that you guys need to become aware of, okay? The middle class isn't being wiped out. The middle class is getting reclassified, all right? The middle class that was the baby boomer era and everybody that had all these great, wonderful jobs making all this money and getting to retirement and everything, and then they pulled the rug out from under them. That's another story. But the middle class now is being reshaped into the service industry. Look around you. Why do you think there's so many new freaking restaurants, like John said, being built in your neighborhood? What's being built? There's no office buildings being built. There's nothing like that being built. It's all service industry. So your future lies in serving, you know, McDonald's to somebody. You know, that's, I mean, seriously. I mean, you're going to be in the food industry. You're going to be in the hospitality industry. The medical industry is a service industry, whether you believe it or not, especially now that it's being transformed back into, you know, governmental control. I mean, everything, service is the future, and service industry has historically paid less than everything else, and yet that's exactly what's going to happen. The middle class that used to function at this level now in the new service industry is going to be functioning at this level down here, okay? And you're going to be the new middle class. So if that's what you want to see for your future, I say get a better idea. And Swiss Gold Global is a better idea. All right, with that, we're out of here. John, you got a last minute word, or?
I better not, because I don't have just a little word. So
I know, we got to make these things longer. Anyway, oh universe, I ask not for more riches, but for more wisdom with which to make better use of the riches that you have given me at birth, consisting of the power to control and direct my own mind to whatever end I might desire, not what my job is going to bring me. Thank you very